Welcome everybody. This is the online section of Mechanical Plumbing and Electrical Systems in Construction. This is for the summer session. I hope this finds you well, and I hope you're all doing well and everybody's safe and healthy. My name's Donnie. I'm going to be your teacher for this semester. I've been teaching here since 2009, so a little over 10 years, and this is clearly new. Being an online class for me, so let's just have some patience and we'll all get through this, okay? I'd like to go through the syllabus with you, and the first thing we have on here is my contact information, and I put a link on Blackboard to get to this. It'll take you right to this page so you can see the syllabus and follow along with me or look at it later and see what I was talking about. All right, so I have my contact information here. You can call me Donnie, and you need your email responses. You don't need to go with Professor Thurman, none of that stuff. It's just Donnie, right? We're all in this together trying to get through it. Office hours, don't really have any right now. If you need to get a hold of me, email me or call. This is my office phone number, but it is always forwarded, and I always, at this time, certainly have it forwarded to my cell phone, so it's directly to me at any time if you have any questions with an assignment or anything coming up that you need help with. All right, so I'm just going to go through the syllabus, and I'm just going to treat this like normally we're back in class. We usually have an interaction. I treat this like a conversation, have some questions, but it's just what we're dealing with. So here we go. All right, the course description. Introduction into plumbing, electrical, and mechanical systems and how they apply to project management, including codes, inspections, sequence of events, and estimation. That's a pretty good overall description of this. And basically what we try to do in all of our construction classes here is we want to try to put you in the shoes of the subs sort of for that semester and get you thinking what they're thinking and how to manage them and give you a basic knowledge of what they do, and then layer that in with what the supervisor needs to think about with regards to what they do. So here in this class, you're going to get basic knowledge of the fundamentals of mechanical, HVAC, plumbing, and electrical, and how they work in the house, how they get through the house, what the electricians do, what the plumbers, what the HVAC technicians do through the house. And then we're going to tie that into, hey, the sequence of how they come out, how much time they need, what inspections is needed for each of them at what times, et cetera, and we'll go from there. So all of our classes in general really point to that and try to tell you what the subcontractors are all about. And then when you get into the management classes, the estimating and those kinds of things, it ties it together into being a supervisor in the field or your own contractor, whatever direction it is that you're going. All right. Grading policy, what I'm going to do for this class is your grade. We're just going to take the cumulative total of all your tests. So if we have 5 tests, that's 500 points you can get. You add up all your points that you got on all the tests, quizzes, and assignments together, and you divide those out, and whatever that percentage comes out to be will be your grade for the semester. Okay, if you're ever wondering where you're at, email me. We could figure it out. I could send you an email and tell you where you're at and where your grade's at. But I think you should be able to see your grades in Blackboard and see how you're progressing along there. Okay. I may, do some things at the end if it's going to help a majority of the people out. Throw out your lowest grade or throw an extra credit thing in there to substitute the place of a lowest grade. I take care of my students, and as long as you participate and be respectful of what we're trying to do, man, I'll always take care of my students if they're putting in the time. Okay. Withdrawal policy. The final withdrawal date for this semester is July 20th. Anything after that date, nobody can do anything about. So if you're going through this and you realize that it's just not working out for you, you need to try to get withdrawn before that date so that it doesn't go against you. Anything after that date, and you don't have all the required work in or whatever it takes to get a passing grade, there's nothing that anybody can do for you. In the past, I've had this happen several times where one of you your work schedule changes, you can't come to class anymore, you don't notify me or let me know, you disappear, you don't withdraw from the class. I've actually had several students call me after the final withdrawal date saying, hey, can you get me out? I just had to disappear for work. While I understand that, there's nothing I can do about your grade at that point. It's just going to have to be an F if you don't have things turned in at that point. So I can't go back after the fact and withdraw. Nobody can after that date. So please pay attention to that date for all your classes. Incompletes. If you have a problem finishing this, something that has occurred that's catastrophic in your life, a death, a family member, something along those lines, we can discuss those. There's a form we have to fill out and work through to get you an incomplete grade, and then there's a whole nother aspect to that of scheduling time for you to come in and finish the portion that you worked and those things. All right, so we'll deal with that if that comes up at the time. Scholastic dishonesty. Look, don't lie, cheat, steal, all that kind of stuff. I don't know how you can do that at your house, but I got to talk about it, all right? Rights and responsibilities. You have the same rights and responsibilities as you do as a citizen. We're not going to try to eliminate that. Certainly as an online class, there's less of a chance of any of this going awry. But just keep in mind, just as a general life rule, just because you can do something doesn't mean you should. We need to be responsible with our freedoms, not just throwing them around, doing whatever we want, even though you can, all right? Disability safety statement, none of those really apply online. Your ACC email, Blackboard has all of your student emails filled into it. So that is the way that I'm going to be contacting you and getting a hold of you, is sending things out through Blackboard, because then it distributes to all of your student emails. So if you're not aware of what yours is and you don't know how to check it or look for it, you need to figure it out, because that's where all of this interaction emails wise is going to be happening, is through that student ACC email. All right. Instructional services, those are still up, and I don't know where you're at or what campus would be closer to you. You certainly don't need to come to one of the main construction campuses if it's just dealing with student services and some help as a student. I would look that up online on our website, find out which campus is closest to you, call them, make an appointment if you need to discuss anything student related wise outside of dealing with the classroom. All right, we have no textbooks in this class. It's all lecture and then note taking, and that's it. Right? We don't try to put in our program, we try to keep textbooks to a minimum. We know they're expensive, and you can't really pass them on, because the rate that textbooks update and change editions, usually from one semester to the next, there's another edition out that they're already making us switch over to. So we try not to use those, and there's none in this class, okay? It's going to be all my lecture and handouts and things that I upload for you guys to review. Okay? Going through the class, a rough outline of it. Basically, I take the three sections, mechanical, plumbing, and electrical, and divide it up into little subgroups, subcategories. So we're going to discuss the theory first on each. How the plumbing moves through your house, how the wiring moves through your house, how electricity works, how the HVAC system works. We'll talk about those kinds of things, and then we'll also look at a list of inspections that come and the sequence of which the HVAC technician or the plumbers and the electricians come out. And then we'll also certainly discuss codes. Codes are, you have to trust your subcontractors to know the codes. That's not saying that they're going to do everything right, but you can't possibly understand all that is enclosed within electrical code, all that is enclosed within the plumbing code, and all that is within enclosed of the HVAC code. You need to know a few things and understand a few things. Mostly it's dealing with quality and location and placement, so that there's not a problem with where they placed an outlet when your cabinets come in later, so to speak. A lot of it is just overseeing that. Listen, if subcontractors, there's a group of them or one company that's constantly getting people red flagged, they just won't be around for a while. So you have to give them a little bit of leeway and space to understand that they know what they're doing, and have some trust in them. And that's a relationship that just gets built over time with your subcontractors, okay? All right, and then we also have on here student learning outcomes and learning objectives. Hopefully you'll be able to understand the basic fundamentals of plumbing, electrical, and mechanical systems. You basically, we'll talk a little bit about load calculations and how they work for electrical, and how they size plumbing systems as well. We'll understand the job site inspection process. I'll go through and list the inspections you get for those things. Local codes, I will put up, and we'll talk about Austin Code, and I'll certainly have a few different code references from around the country, some city checklists that are out there that maybe might help you when you become a super to think about things before the inspector comes to get ready. Understand the importance of the construction sequence, and also have we'll discuss some kind of trade techniques that are out there where there's no lab component really to this. So the hands-on part of learning some of these specific things isn't going to be there. And to be clear, it's not really hands-on lab parts, components that you would really be using in the field as a supervisor, or as a construction manager, or even as a contractor yourself. If you're wanting to do some work around the house, or oversee or understand physically what they're doing, that's some of the things that will be lost and not having the lab component. But I'll do my best to share things with you, and maybe go around my house, open up some things, and show you some stuff if I can, or figure out how to video it well for you guys. All right. Lastly, on the syllabus, they talk about concealed campus carry. We're not going on campus, so I wouldn't worry about it too much. All right. So what else do we got here? Syllabus, we talked about grades. I talked about the withdrawal date. Let's just discuss expectations real quick. You could see already, this is my first video I'm making for you. I'm sitting here at my breakfast table doing it. There's not really a good way to go to the school. The school is still they still have a lot of restrictions on who can go up there and be in there. We had several meetings between semesters about discussing class size, and it wasn't just our input. We have to listen to the environmental health and safety department that the college has, and what restrictions they put on us. So even just going up there trying to film something in a room with a bigger whiteboard is a little bit of a challenge to that. It's not as easy as it says, me just driving up there and doing it. So most of these will be filmed in a way I can around here at my house. Also, look, I'm used to doing these lectures and having these classes in a classroom, and I teach everything as if it's a discussion we're all having together. So trying to do this without feedback, interaction from you, the students, and questions thrown at me, and just little side discussions that come up that are fruitful for what we're all trying to figure out and learn, it's kind of missing. So this is a little foreign to me, sitting here just talking to a camera instead of being able to look into all your faces and help you along the way. I'm just doing my best here with what we have. I hope you just give me a little patience with that. I'm going to try to just keep it as real as I can to what a lecture is like. I'm not going to script these out. I'm not going to try to be just a robot on these videos hammering stuff to you. I'm going to try to give them to you just like I would as if we were sitting in a classroom together. It's just that you're not there physically looking back at me and able to answer on the fly in real time. All right, so the last thing I want to do for you is I want to give you a little to-do list this first week, this introductory week, and I'll go over those things and what we're talking about. All right, the first thing I want to do for you, or I want you to do, is I want you to just take a little bit of time, and I believe I sent out an email to everybody on this, is get familiar with Blackboard, all right? It is going to be the main way that we do everything. I mean, it's going to be the only way that I'm giving you these videos, giving you your handouts and that kind of stuff. Okay, so get familiar with how to look around in there, get familiar with you know, the course content, how to submit things. All right. There's two main parts to this class. Okay, when you're looking in Blackboard itself for the class, there's a general discussion forum, and then there's also a section for course content. Inside the course content, I have it broken down into each section: HVAC, plumbing, electrical. They each have their own folder, and inside those folders is going to be where you'll find the videos, the assignments, and then you'll also have another content folder where all the handouts for each section, HVAC, plumbing, electrical, is. Okay, so just kind of look around in there at everything. I have some of the things turned off. I'll try to keep things turned off that you can't see, that just doesn't apply yet and we're not there to. That way you don't have all this extra stuff in your way and you're trying to click around and pick through there. All right. What else? Yeah, that's it. All right. So get familiar with Blackboard and look around at it and figure out how to navigate it if you don't know how. It's still fairly new to me. Heck, most of us teachers in building construction, we haven't dealt with it. So we're all still trying to learn it. We had to have a steep learning curve because it was thrown at us, you all know, in the middle of last semester. So there's still going to be some hiccups in this. If I forget to turn something on for you to see, it happened a couple times in the spring. Just email me. Hey, you gave us a test, but you didn't never show the video or open the video for us to see that requires to it, or you didn't give us the handout that requires to it. Let me know. I'll give you plenty of grace if I make a mistake and extra time and whatever we need to work out, whatever hiccup happened on my end, okay? All right. The second thing I need you to do is dealing with that general discussion section. There's a forum that I opened in there. All right, I want you to post something in that discussion forum. Okay, I want you to post something new, and I also want you to respond to my post that I have in there. Okay. I had made a quick little post just explaining what the discussion forum is about, but I'll tell you here, since we're not in a classroom and we're not all together, and you can't interject with a question while I'm giving my lecture, and then you ask a question, I can answer it. Maybe somebody else had the same question, just hadn't gotten around to answer it yet, or how to frame it in their mind. You all then would have the benefit of hearing that answer and getting some more clarification or a better way. I figured out a different way to explain it when answering the question to one person, and it benefited the rest of you. Or maybe that question spurred some other questions or further discussion. We don't have the advantage of that. So what I would like you to do is, if you have a question in the video of something I'm saying or something I'm doing, pause it right there, look at the timestamp, and then post the question in that forum. Just say, hey, in your video on intro to HVAC, around the 2-minute, 30-second mark, you said this. What do you mean by that? Can I get some clarification? That type of thing. All right. So in here, I want you to do two things inside that discussion forum this week. I want you to just write, a new post as if it's a new thread question. And it doesn't have to be a question. Just pop in something there and say, hey, first post, doing it for you. Whatever. All right. And then also to the one that I had, I want you to respond to the post that I had made. All right. It's two different things that you need to learn how to do. Make your own thread and post it, and how to respond to somebody else's thread or somebody else's comment in the thread. All right. So get those done just to practice it. Okay. The third thing I want you to do, all right, I want you to submit to me a Word document, okay? Just a quick Word document with a couple sentences, just whatever. Tell me about yourself, 2 sentences. This is my 3rd semester. I'm thinking about going into commercial. This is my last semester. I'm thinking about doing something residential. I like dogs, whatever. Just something really briefly in a Word document so you can submit it, and there will be a place in the introduction folder. There'll be an assignment that says submit your Word doc here, and you click it, make your Word document on your computer, laptop, whatever, and then figure out how to submit it and get it uploaded. Some assignments will be that way. Okay, so I want you to understand how to do that. And then lastly, all right, there's going to be a short quiz on one other video that I have posted here that talks about just the 3 trades briefly in general. And then you take this little quiz, and pretty much you do these things. That's going to be the basis for all of our assignments and everything that we do this semester. Okay, so I look forward to it. I've never done one full online. I've never made videos like this. Again, I'm just sitting at my breakfast table with my iPhone. I'm going to try to get creative as I can and do some more things. Let's see what happens. I'm going to give you my best. I just ask that you give me yours, and we'll make the most out of this crazy semester that we've got.